Hi everyone, how are you? This is Renee Barham Gordon, your friendly regulated Canadian immigration consultant from Maya Immigration Consulting Inc., making every interaction admirable. So in our previous video, we introduced Mia. We said a bit about the company, what are the services we provide regards to temporary and permanent residency. We spoke about, I gave a bit about myself and a little background. I also went into who a regulated Canadian immigration consultant is and what authorizes us to, or what entity rather authorizes us to be a representative. From time to time, you guys will hear me say RCIC. That's also the person who is a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. So here we go. For this video, today we're going to be discussing temporary resident visas or temporary residence. In subsequent videos, we'll look at permanent residency, the different types of visas for temporary residency, so forth. But for today, we're just going to be discussing temporary resident visa. So what is a temporary resident visa? A temporary resident visa is a counterfoil placed in your passport by the Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, right? It's not a stamp. It's for those who haven't traveled before, they may not be aware of it, but it's a counterfoil placed in your passport to give you permission to enter Canada on a temporary basis, right? This is issued to individuals who are not permanent residents nor Canadian citizens. So it's likely going to be issued to someone coming to Canada to visit. Canada is a beautiful country and there are a lot of sites, there are a lot of attractions here, namely the Niagara Falls. So people from time to time will come to the Niagara Falls to visit. We have a lot of persons, a lot of foreign nationals coming as students. So there are a lot of international students here. You also have persons like parents and grandparents. They at times can come on what is called a super visa. We'll get into that further on. You have workers, temporary foreign workers. So we have different instances, people coming on business rather. We have different instances where individuals are given a temporary resident visa. And those individuals will be classified, or are classified rather, as temporary residents. Okay? So who needs a temporary resident visa? As said before, the different types: someone who is a visitor, a student for the most part, and someone coming to work. Those individuals are gonna need a temporary resident visa for the most part. Why do I say for the most part? Because there are some countries that are visa exempt countries and they don't require a visa to come to Canada, right? So let's say you're coming to Canada to study or to work. Depends on which country you're coming, because for example, the NAFTA agreement with the US, Canada, and Mexico, individuals may be exempted from having a work permit in that regard. You have different student programs. You may be coming to Canada to study less than 6 months. It varies. There are different situations. You may not require a temporary resident visa. However, it is critical to find out if you may need this information, or you may need this visa rather. All right. Is a temporary resident visa a right? No. Do you have a right to enter Canada because you have the visa? No. It is a privilege, and it's very important to know that. Not because you applied for a visa and you got a temporary resident visa, it means that you have a right to enter Canada. It is a privilege, and this must be known. Reason being, let us say at the time of application, you were found eligible to be granted a visa. fine. You now travel to Canada, and at the port of entry, the CBSA officer, which is the Canada Border Services Agency officer, deems you inadmissible, or deem you inadmissible rather, and they say that you're not eligible to now enter Canada. Then at that point, the officer can say, the CBSA officer will let you know under what grounds you're inadmissible. Usually it's found in IRPA, the Immigration, Refugee and Protection Act, sections 33 to 42. And you're likely going to be inadmissible under one of those grounds. But of course, the CBA officer will let you know on what grounds you're inadmissible. So again, it's not a right to have the temporary resident visa. It is a privilege, okay? And having a temporary resident visa is required to enter Canada, whether you're coming at a land border, at an airport or seaport. But again, some countries or some citizens, individuals from some countries, based on their status, may not require having this visa, okay? And another thing, another substitute to the temporary resident visa is what is called an ETA. It's an electronic travel authorization. And the electronic authorization, having it again, it's for some countries. So not all countries will require having an ETA to come to Canada. You apply for it online and it's granted to you if found eligible, right? And our TRV usually lasts for 10 years if it is you're a visitor, or up to the expiration date of your visa, of your passport rather, whichever comes first. However, it is to be noted that this can be changed. It's at the discretion of the person who is granting you the visa. So the visa officer, whilst it is the norm for you to be given a 10-year visa, the visa officer may see fit to say that, hey, this individual is only going to get 1 year or 2 year. It depends. And again, also it may be dependent on when your passport expires, whichever is earlier. When you're granted a temporary resident visa as a visitor, you are allowed entry into Canada for up to 6 months at a time. So let's say you come January, you're allowed to stay in Canada up to June. After that, you would need to leave Canada and then come back if it is you so choose. But going over that time, you would need to apply for a visitor visa extension at that point. We'll go into all of that later on because we will, of course, be discussing the different types of temporary resident visas that are there. Let us say you're coming as a student. Your temporary resident visa will be issued for the time of your study permit. Again, we will go into that in subsequent videos. So for today, it's just to let you know what the different types of temporary resident visas are, as well as to let you know what it is and who is required to have one. Okay, so I'm inviting you all, please, to subscribe, like, share our videos, visit our website. All the information is at the bottom of the screen, www.miaimmigration.com. You can visit us at all our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, and also here on YouTube. Thank you, guys. Don't be afraid. Send us your questions, send us your queries, and we will answer as best as possible in the shortest possible time. Thank you for making it Mia Immigration Consulting, Inc., making every interaction admirable. Thank you.